Hi everyone, welcome to my live cooking show. My name is Alina. If you're new here, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for watching. People who are watching this later as a replay, hi to you as well. So I have a few things for you today. So first, what we're going to make, we're making a black bean torta sandwich. I really like this sandwich. It's like a lifesaver for, say, on a Friday or Saturday night. Like I've been tired from, the whole week and all that. So I don't want to make anything complicated. It's easy to make. You'll see it's the ingredients are fairly simple. So yeah, so we're making this sandwich. Then I've got another thing. If you saw my Instagram story just now, I told you that I am making a sourdough bread right now. It's in the oven. I decided last Saturday, like I woke up and thought, I want to make sourdough bread. And I tried this before, but it just wasn't working out for me. Like I couldn't quite get it. But last Saturday, I thought, all right, I'm going to give it another try. And so I looked up this recipe for sourdough starter. And, it's really simple, but at the same time, it's kind of like there are so many little details because you have to kind of go by feel. But I found this website, feastingathome.com, and she, the lady, I think her name is Sylvia, she really explained it the way that I finally figured it out. Like it clicked for me. And so I followed her instructions. I made this sourdough starter, and it's really simple because it's only flour, water, and what else? Yeah, and that's it, basically. Yeah, you mix flour and water. Yeah, and then you kind of have to let them sit around. And that wild yeast that's just naturally occurring around us, like some floats in the air, some sits on like things around. So it starts fermenting, and eventually a few days later you end up with this sourdough starter that you can use to make bread, and it's great. So I'm going to, so I was planning to make a loaf tomorrow, but yesterday my starter was like really chomping at the bit to get going. So I started the loaf, and it's an overnight thing. So I mixed it all together last night, and so it's baking in the oven right now. And I've got another just a little under 10 minutes, and we will be taking it out. I'm really excited to see. Well, actually 10 minutes, and then there'll be another 10 minutes or so because it has to stay. It's in the Dutch oven right now, so I'm going to take the lid off of the Dutch oven. And so it has to bake without the lid to get nice and crusty. But I'm very excited for you to see it. Yeah, so if you happen to be interested in how, like, more details about how I bake this bread, how I did the sourdough starter, if you'd like to see a blog post or a video about it, I just let me know in the comments. And yeah, I'll try to put it together. Like, blog posts are a little hard for me right now because I'm more focused on video. I'm honestly enjoying video much more. So yeah, but anyway, just let me know if you want to see it. I would love to show you how it all went down. Okay, so black bean chipotle sandwich. After this little diatribe, let me start. So what we're going to use, I'm going to, turn my other camera on. Just enter it here. There we are. And I'm going to lower it a little bit so you can see what I've got. All right, so we're going to start with black beans. This is 1 can of black beans. I rinsed them a little bit, like once or twice. And so, yeah, just a standard, like 14.5 or 15-ounce can of black beans. This amount will make 3 sandwiches or so, but I'm only going to make 1. But like, if you have a family to feed, or if you want to like gauge yourself by how you want to do it, so this will make about 3 sandwiches. If you want to see the full list of ingredients for right now and for later reference, I put them in the video description. So under the video where you see that little like show more or like a little arrow, I think on the phone. So that's where you can see all the ingredients. And those ingredients are for 3 sandwiches. So we're going to use a little less than that, but at least you can see everything we use. So we got these beans. We're going to saute them. And this is similar to my recipe for a black bean taco salad that I made a few weeks ago. Sorry, trying to get it a little bit. No, the other way. Yeah, so I have a video, another live stream I did a couple of weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago or so, for black bean taco salad. And that salad has these black beans and then the creamy chipotle aioli that I used as a dressing for that salad. So these are 2 similar things. So like if you want to make one sandwich today, but want to make, you still have all these beans left over, then you can make that taco salad tomorrow and, you'll use it all up, both the beans and the chipotle dressing / aioli. All right, so we got this. We're going to season them. I got a few things here. So basically, I've got cumin, I've got oregano, I've got paprika, and chili powder. And also we'll put a little bit salt and pepper in there, and we will cover them with water and let them simmer for a little bit. Then for the aioli, we are going to use this vegan mayo, Follow Your Heart. That's I always have this in my fridge because it's just so versatile. You can really make a lot of things with it. Then we've got chipotle powder, liquid smoke, and I'm also using smoked paprika that we're going to use both in the beans and over here. Yeah, and we're going to use some lime juice. I got this lime that I already started, so cut a little bit off. So then we're going to use sandwich buns. The buns that I have, they are in the freezer right now, so I'll get that bun out just before we start putting it all together. Yeah, and vegetables that will go on top. We'll have red onion. Mine is a little funky, but it'll be okay. Then we've got avocado, we've got tomato, and we've got some lettuce. Yeah, so it's simple and it's really filling, and the flavor is actually really nice. It really comes through. So let's start with the beans. I should have probably turned on the stove already, but I haven't. Anyway, let me see if you can watch it. And I'll turn it in the way that you can watch me too. Sort of. Kind of, sort of. Yeah, all these angles, they take a lot of getting used to. All right, so I'm going to turn my oven on not oven, it's the stove. So I turned it on. We're going to let it all heat a little bit. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to let it heat. I'm just going to put it all together there right now. So I'm putting my beans on. It's okay if it's not heated through yet. Then I'm going to add my spices. We're going to do some chili powder. This is cumin. Then we've got chili powder. And this you can really do by feel because you can't really mess up. Unless you put like lots of something spicy, then it can be like, yeah, okay. Then we have the smoked paprika. And then we have oregano. You can also add chipotle powder if you want. If you want some spice, like if you want the beans to be spicy. The chipotle aioli will be spicy as is. So, so if you want it like really spicy, then put chipotle both here and in the aioli. Otherwise, don't put the chipotle in here. All right, salt and pepper. Let's see. And of course, we can adjust all the measurements later after we taste it. And now I'm going to just pour the water right out of my teapot here. Just enough to cover the beans. And we're gonna let it all come to a simmer. And let it simmer until all the water cooks out. So let's stir a little bit. Oh, I only have 2 minutes of my sourdough bread, so it's exciting. Okay. So that we got going. Next up, let's slice veggies or aioli. Let's do the aioli first. Okay. So I've got my little bowl here. Let's see if this is better for you. So we're gonna start with this stuff. We're gonna do about 4 tablespoons of mayo. You can use more or less. This will definitely be more than we're gonna need for just one sandwich. But if you're making 3 sandwiches, or if you want to make taco salad tomorrow, you can make more of this stuff. So yeah, that's about what I want to use. Next up, we're going to put some liquid smoke in there, about half a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon. A little bit goes a long way. Chipotle powder. This is like a true flavor booster. Really gets you going. You can add a little more if you want it real spicy. Then I've got some smoked paprika. No, that's not smoked. That's regular. Sorry. Where's my smoked paprika? Oh, it's over there. Okay. Apparently, I put regular paprika in there, not smoked, which is fine, So this. You know what? I'm going to put a little bit of this in my beans too. Make them a little smokier. For those who are tuning in, I'm baking a loaf of sourdough bread in the oven right now. It's not going to go into this recipe, but this is the very first time I'm making sourdough bread myself, so I'm very excited to see what it's like. And the timer's about to go off. I'm going to take the lid off of my Dutch oven, and then it will bake a little bit longer. In the meantime, I cut off this wedge of lime. All right. So I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me try to position my camera so you get a look. So this is the oven. I've got my cast iron Dutch oven right here. Out and moment of truth. Oh my gosh! It is huge. Can you see that? All right, so I'm putting it back in for another, let's say, 10 minutes, and then we'll check. That's without a lid. Timer for 12 minutes. Yeah, this is taking a while, so I turned off the heat right now. Yeah, okay. I'm so excited that it's actually working out. Don't you love it when you follow instructions and things actually work out? That's the best ever, right? All right, so I got a wedge of lime here. I'm going to squeeze it in. The thing with this aioli is that if you put a little bit less lime juice, like 1 wedge's worth of lime juice, then it's going to be a little bit thicker, just like you want an aioli or a spread or a dip to be. But if you want to use this as a dressing for a salad, then you want it to be a little runnier. And for that, you can just add a little bit more lime juice. Okay, so you see how it's getting all. It's a nice color. If you skip the smoked paprika, you can actually do that. Like if you don't have any, then it will be a little bit less red. but it will still taste good. I'm mainly adding smoked paprika here to boost the color and to, enhance a little bit of that smokiness. Okay, so can you see? Oh, my phone camera isn't focusing really well. But sorry about that. Okay. All right, I hear my beans are beginning to simmer. I'm gonna go turn down the heat a little. So the good thing about these beans is that you can let them simmer for a long time. Like if, say, like you want to make these sandwiches. Oh, hi, Kathy. Hi, nice that you're here. Okay, good morning. When did I get sourdough started? Okay. Okay, yeah, no problem that you watched that. I said this in the beginning, but I can say again, I made it myself. First time ever trying this. Like I had one like a couple years ago, a coworker gave me some sourdough starter that she started, and like I didn't quite get like what you needed to do with it. Like I tried to do some things and just wasn't working out for me, so I kind of discarded it. And this time I found a blog post on this website called Feasting at Home, where the lady, I think her name is Sylvia, she shows how to, like, the way she wrote about it was just, it clicked for me, just it clicked. Like, so very straightforward. So basically, last week on Saturday morning, I mixed up flour and water in like certain proportions. I think it was 1 cup of flour to half a cup of water. Mixed them all up. It was pretty thick. It was kind of like peanut butter thick. And I let it sit, and it took a little bit over 24 hours, maybe like 30 hours or so. It started rising, and once it started rising, then it has to like come up, and then it drops a little bit. That calls like peaking, and then it kind of starts deflating a little bit, which shows that it's hungry. And so you gotta feed it. So I did it for a week up until yesterday, and last night I decided to make the bread because the sourdough starter was like really, I could tell that it was ready. So yeah, I mixed it all yesterday and I put it in the oven just before the live stream started. And so it's in there right now, and I'm so excited. If you want to, like I asked people earlier, if you want me to like make a special video or a blog post about how I do all of this, then I can do that. I actually took some pictures yesterday. I hope if I have a chance, if I have time to put them on Instagram stories. I'm on Instagram. You can see that under the video in video description, and vegan runner eats. There are underscores between vegan and runner, and then runner and eats. So yeah. Okay, very cool. I'm visiting with daughter in Texas from Ohio. She doesn't know what to do. She's giving it to me. Okay, yeah. So if you Google feastingathome.com sourdough starter, then she really explains it, and she even gives some tips for like if it kind of went like dormant, like if it's not very active, like she tells you how to like revive it and make it happy, which is really cool. I think very nice. And you're saying that you'd love a blog post on that. Okay, yeah, thank you. I'll try to do that. Blog posts are a little harder for me because I'm so focused on video right now that like I literally, those videos that I put in the middle of the day, they take me like a whole week to edit. I hope like I get a little faster with that. And yeah, so like I hope that I know I should because it's something that so many people want to do, but get mess up all the time, myself included, like I was before. Yeah, so yeah, I'll try. Okay, so let's we've got our aioli. Our beans are cooking. They're simmering right now. I can show you. So it's just Yeah, I have them on like medium heat right now, so they are uh, boiling a little bit harder than I normally do this. I just want this to happen quicker, so so we don't have another hour-long live stream. Yeah. So we're just waiting for the water to evaporate, and then we can put the sandwiches together. In the meantime, I've got my vegetables. I've got my tomatoes and onion and avocado and lettuce. So I'm gonna get that ready. Okay, first I'm gonna cut the onion because it's less juicy than say tomato, so it's not gonna mess up the knife as much. So since I'm only making one sandwich, I am doing just one, just like one, one cut. So this is what I'm gonna use. Next up, I'm gonna do tomato, and also we just need a couple slices. Yeah, something like that. Good. Oh, this is very ripe. I had this accident sort of happen with tomatoes. I mentioned it to my email subscriber. Oh, okay. Thank you. I'm glad that you're looking that you're okay. Okay, so yeah, my grocery store. I was started doing the grocery delivery thing or pickup. Instead of going to the grocery store. Like honestly, for this entire time, the pandemic. First, we lived on an island in Washington State, so such service wasn't available. Now we moved here, and we're just now kind of like dipping our toe into like all these modern conveniences like grocery delivery. Yeah, so our grocery store, when I put all the stuff on my list, I ordered 3 tomatoes, but either I made a mistake, I didn't notice it, like it was in pounds, or they made a mistake. So they brought me 3 pounds of tomatoes. So I got lots of tomatoes right now, and yeah, I'll have to figure out what to do with them. So we got a couple slices of tomatoes here, and now I'm going to cut some avocado. So cut this in half, and I'm just going to make these thin slices. I hope you see it okay. There we go. Yeah, okay. And now to get them out, I just stick my thumb under and they all come out nicely. Yeah, my hand's a little yucky now, but it's okay. All right. Gotta remember not to mumble because I like as I've been watching and editing my videos, I notice that sometimes I mumble and it's like really no good for anyone. You can't hear what I say. I can't hear what I say in the video either. So yeah, I gotta remember to speak up. Okay, so we got this lettuce. I just have these lettuce leaves. I'm just going to tear them. This is more than I'm gonna need, I'm sure, but better to have more than less. Okay, all right, so we are all set with that. It looks like the beans are beginning to show you. See that the water is beginning to evaporate. There we go. Yeah, so it's probably another minute or so. And our sourdough bread the timer has less than 2 minutes now. You know what? I think it's not very brown yet, so I think I'm gonna leave it in for a little longer. But minute 30, I'm gonna set it up for another 5 minutes. Actually, 6. That's fine. Yeah. I need to get my bun ready. I'll show you what buns I use. So we in our family are big fans of these buns that we get at Costco. These ciabatta buns that are square and they're about pretty good size. We love them so much that when we go to Costco, we get like 2 dozen. You can tell that we eat a lot of bread. My husband and my daughter are huge fans of bread, and I love it too. But I think they really got it. Oh, Kathy, you have another question. Okay, so the thing with the bowl of water, I do that if I'm not using the Dutch oven. Like this week, I posted a video for what's it called? For Irish soda bread. You can find it if you go on my channel. It's one of the, I'm wearing a silly hat in the thumbnail. Yeah, so that bread I make without a Dutch oven. And so I do put a bowl of water in there before I start preheating the oven. This way there's the humidity. But if you're making it in the Dutch oven, then because it's all sealed under the lid, then as the bread starts baking, it releases some of its moisture. And so it just isn't, it's like in the steam bath basically. So yeah, so no need to put, if you're using a Dutch oven, then no need to put additional water in there. Okay. You're making my chickpea tuna sandwich. Oh, thank you. Let me know how it works out. We love it a lot. So these buns, yeah, so we keep them frozen. They can last like forever. And to heat them up, I put them in the microwave for 50 seconds on, what's it called? Power level 5. So it's about half of usual level. And then I put them in the toaster for a little bit, and they come out like freshly baked. Basically, they're just gorgeous. I need a plate. I just need a little plate. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. Oh, and the beans are all ready. 50, power level 5, and start. Okay. The beans are ready. I can show you. They're a little steamy, but you see that all the water has evaporated. If you have time, I suggest that you let them simmer longer. Like if I didn't need to make this sandwich right now, but if I was making it for half an hour from now, I would just let them simmer for a while. And once the water evaporates, I would add some more and then let that evaporate. That gets all those spices that we put in. The beans really absorb them, and it's just lovely. Okay, so I'm just gonna set this aside for a second. And the bun is almost ready. Okay. So you can see that it's quite springy already. See, yeah. So I'm just gonna cut it. It comes pre-cut, but it's like 3/4 of the way pre-cut. Yeah, so it's like this. See, and it's kind of in the middle is still attached. So I'm just using a bread knife to loosen it. That's what it looks like inside. And I'm gonna put it in the toaster for I don't know, not long. Let me see. You know how the toaster has those, the dial or like levels. So I put it on 3 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 3 out of 7. So it's a little less than like medium setting of the toaster. So we're gonna let that happen. So yeah, so we got we have everything. So next we will be assembling the sandwich. And I'm gonna put my last one that I have back in the freezer. The sourdough has about a minute left. You know what? I'll take it out to show you what it looks like in a minute. But I think I'll put it in for a little longer. Oh, Kathy, you're saying that you saw my Irish soda bread. Thank you. Yeah. If you make it, let me know. I made it. I usually make it a few times this time of the year, and then I forget it for the rest of the year. But sometimes, like last year, I remembered about it in the summer and it made it. And you know what? No need to wait for St. Patrick's Day to to eat that. You can eat it year round. Yeah. Okay. So we got this. We got the bread. 18 seconds on the timer. So I'm gonna prepare this camera so you can see. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off. Okay. Off. Okay, let's see. All right. Looking good. Well, the lady from that website that I was using for tips for this stuff, she said that you need to cook it until it's a little more browned than like you'd think it should be. So I think it needs to be a little more brown. So yeah, let's do another, I don't know, 5 minutes, and maybe we'll check after 4 or so. Okay, and our bun has just popped out. Okay, so see, it's nice and crispy now, crispy on the outside and soft on the inside, just lovely. We use these buns for everything, like for hamburgers, for any type of other sandwiches, except for chickpea salad. Chickpea salad I prefer on regular sandwich bread. But yeah, hamburgers, and I make my tofu, what's it called? Tofu banh mi sandwich with this bread too. It's delicious. I should make that, actually put it on my list as one of the next recipes. Yeah, so what we're going to do now, I'm gonna need a knife and a fork. So the bottom of the bun, I'm going to put the aioli on it. There we go. It looks pale on the camera here because I think my light isn't like great over here, like it's too bright. Yeah, but it's actually kind of pink orange. Let me see, maybe this camera will show it a little better. Not so much, but yeah, it's kind of like pale salmon, if you remember from pre-vegan days what salmon looks like. Yeah, so I'm putting this in. And the texture of this bun, because it's got so many holes in it, it just drinks it up. So you can like keep putting on, thinking, oh, that's not enough. And then you end up with so much sauce, it'll be like, oh my gosh, super spicy. Okay, so this is the bottom. The top, I'm going to put the avocado slices. It's best if you're using avocado like very ripe, not rotten, obviously, but quite ripe over here, because as you'll see, I am just mashing it onto the bun. You can keep it, whole if you feel like it, but without mashing. But I think if I mash them, then they kind of work as a spread, and also they don't fall off the bun as easily once you start eating everything. Okay. So I got this all mashed. Next up, I've got my beans. I'm going to use about a third of these. You know what? I forgot one important step, that I need to mash them a little bit. I should have. Sorry about that. So the thing about mashing the beans, so as you're cooking them, just before it looks like all the water evaporated, just take a regular potato masher and, go to town with it. They don't have to be super mashed, like mashed potatoes, but anything goes. I'm going to mash only about a third of this because I think I'm going to save the rest of this for taco salad later. Okay, let me show you what it looks like. Gosh, I'm running out of space over here. All these things. Okay. So let's see. Come on. There we go. So this part of it here, I'm just going to mash a little bit. It's a little dry right now because, like I said, the water has all evaporated, so it's not ideal. The reason we're mashing them is because they will stay on the sandwich easier. Like if we put them on the sandwich unmashed, then unfortunately they'll want to fall off right away. You can also use a fork if you like it. So I'm just trying to make like sort of like a patty type of situation. And let's see. So I'm going to put it on the bottom part of the bun. Okay. Ooh, the bread is done. Okay, I'm gonna turn this off. I'm gonna finish this part. Okay. So, like I said, this is about a third of a one whole can of black beans. Alrighty. And now we're just gonna pile up the veggies. Oh, I gotta check the bread too, right? Okay. Let's see. In my okay. Yeah, this looks. I think this is done, right? Okay, I'm gonna take it out. All right. And you may see that I have this baking sheet on the bottom. So just a regular baking sheet. The reason I put it in there because I know that in my Dutch oven, when I bake bread this way, and I have this recipe that's not sourdough, but like I've been making it for a few years now. It's delicious. I should make a video of it too. So for some reason, the bottom kind of starts getting burnt, but this this recipe that I'm using to make this bread, the lady from that blog actually said that if you preheat the oven and then put a non-preheated baking pan under the Dutch oven, the cast iron, then it will help the bottom not to burn as much. So I'm getting my cookie sheet here. Not cookie sheet, cooling thing. And I'm just going to lift this up. And put it on here. Okay, a couple minutes, and I'm gonna, because it's super hot right now, so I'm gonna take the parchment from under it. Okay. Lastly, we're almost finished up with assembling our sandwich. So we're gonna do onions, and then tomatoes, and then lettuce. The reason I'm putting the vegetables on there in this order is that actually back in the day when one of my first jobs in the United States was working at Wendy's, the fast food chain. And so they taught me that like basically what you want to do is you want to, as you're putting the sandwich together, or a hamburger in that case, you want the things that would want to fall off to stay under the things that are kind of big and broad. So in our case, if you put onions like on top here, and I try to flip it, then they'll want to fall off. But if we put the onions on something sticky, like that avocado, and then put tomatoes on top and cover with lettuce, then lettuce will kind of keep everything under it. But anyway, Plus, I think it tastes good that way. Oops. The trouble is my lettuce is a little bit is small. It's small pieces. If you can just get a regular piece of like red leaf lettuce or even green leaf or what's the other kind, romaine, it's all good. It'll keep everything better. So, what does that look like? Looks good. I know, maybe a little bit sloppy, but it's not bad actually. I think. Okay, so all what's left is to do a taste test, right? And then, of course, I'm gonna show you the sourdough a little bit better. Okay, so taste test. I'm gonna try to bite from the less picturesque part because the picturesque part I need to use to make the thumbnail later. Here, I'm gonna just do this. Okay. I'm talking about like do a thumbnail, take a picture to put on YouTube. Oh, Kathy. Thank you. Thank you so much, Kathy. Yeah. I mean, obviously I made it, so I'm gonna say that it's delicious. I'm not gonna say that it's awful, but it is really good. Mm-hmm. Really good. Yeah, so it's like a nice alternative to tacos and burritos because you can use all these things, like pile them on a tortilla and wrap them up and eat it. All this as a burrito, but you don't have to if you want all the flavor but don't want to have it in the form of a burrito. Then you can just do this. Okay. So yeah. So what I'm tasting is definitely the spice from Chipotle is coming through, and that smokiness from liquid smoke and the paprika, and it's seasoned very well. Like I used to make this, but not put any salt in the beans as they cooked. But then they kind of came out a little bit bland. But this adding a little bit of salt while they're cooking is a good idea, I think. Yeah. So this is how you make this lovely black bean torta sandwich. My favorite thing to eat as a side for these things is fried plantains. I make them in the air fryer. I should make a video that is super easy. You just have to get the plantains and be patient enough to let them ripen like so hard that their skin is black. Like that's the perfect time where you can cook them and they come out of the air fryer and just melt in your mouth. Good. I need to make that recipe. That's going on the list too. All right, bread. Sorry, it's a little too crunchy probably, but let's see. So here we are. Comparison with my head. Yeah, it's about the size of my head. The bottom I think it's kind of beginning to get a little bit dark, a little burnt, but not as much as what I used to do. So it was a good idea to put that baking sheet under. And the good way to learn if the bread is done or not is to like knock on it. If it sounds hollow, then it's done. And it's like it's heavy, but it's also kind of light at the same time. I don't know how to explain that. Yeah. So I'm gonna let it cool a little bit, and then when I cut it, I will post a picture to Instagram, either stories or the regular thing, so you can keep up with me there, and you'll see that. Okay. So, all right. I think this was, informative enough, and I hope you learned how to do this. I hope you saw that it's simple and that it, in fact, doesn't take 44 minutes to make this sandwich. It only takes this long because I like to talk. Yeah, so there we go. Our torta sandwich that I'm going to eat for lunch. And yeah, thank you so much for coming. One last thing. I am still doing the fundraiser for the Ukraine Crisis Fund. I have the details in the video description. basically all the digital products, my digital products that anyone buys this month until the end of the month. I have meal plans, I have ebooks, I have like all kinds of stuff. So all of that, if you buy, I'm going to donate all of the proceeds to Ukraine Crisis Fund. It's a campaign started by care.org. I talked about it in my previous live stream, and I hope if you're still watching till now, thank you so much. And please consider looking at my digital products and make a purchase for yourself or even for a friend if you have someone interested in vegan lifestyle but not really knowing like where to start and all that. So yeah, please consider that. Thank you so much. And yeah, I hope I'll see you next Friday. Yeah, have a good day. Yeah, and a good weekend. So bye-bye.